Well, a deadline is fast approaching for County Executive Chris Abele to help fix Milwaukee's poorest performing public schools.
The county executive hired Mequon-Thiensville Superintendent Damon Means to help him improve 54 subpar schools. So we have the county executive here now this afternoon. So let me try to set this up for you. There's a new state law that gave you this authority to take the poorest performing schools and transfer them to what's being called the opportunity schools, and in essence running them like charter schools. All right. So then MPS though has a program called the community schools, and by sort of using the best practices to improve academic achievement. You have Dr. Means, who has come up with his own plan. He's the school commissioner sort of overseeing this. And is it fair to say he has sort of created a hybrid of both plans? So my question to you is, MPS doesn't seem to want to play ball here. How are you going to be able to enforce this law?
Sure. Well, first of all, as your viewers know, this law was passed without any request or input from either I or Dr. Means, and we both have 20 years of supporting MPS. It is, however, the law. And the law requires us to create this commission, so we've spent 6 months doing everything we can to try and implement the law in a way that helps MPS and addresses the concerns they've had. You've heard people talk about takeover. What we've proposed means no loss of students for MPS. All MPS employees, schools that we work with automatically in all scenarios would go back to MPS. And we want to add wraparound services, which the county has a lot more access to do than typically cities do. What I'm concerned about, though, is that if we can't get to an agreement sometime soon, the law requires us the law has to be implemented one way or another, and I'm concerned that there will be a far more heavy-handed approach, and that's something that Dr. Means and I share the concerns of MPS for. We've worked with them. We would like to continue to work with them.
But County Exec, you say that you've come up with this plan that you're hoping is kind of the middle ground, but how is it different? Because if community schools are already implemented in MPS, how does your plan differ? If it, some feel if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But apparently something's broke, you want to fix it, but you're saying we're going to still use the same teachers, we're going to still use the same community school model. How is it different?
Well, no, it is different because, well, first of all, we don't have the option to do this. This is not Dr. Means and I deciding to do this. This is us complying with state law, but we're trying to do it in a way that is as pro-MPS as possible. So our thinking is, because we agree with MPS, we both like the community schools model. It's something personally I've been involved in for a very long time. If anything, it's to extend what MPS is already doing. I mean, where they're doing community schools, we don't want to duplicate. We're thinking if we're going to help a school, we'd try and do the same community model. But just with more wraparound services.
We just have a few seconds left. You're coming up to a May 25th deadline. That's when you have to name the schools that you want in this program. Will you meet that deadline?
We will meet the deadline. We would like to meet it with MPS. We would like to make that decision about the school and just work with MPS as much as possible. So the ball's in their court.
Is it one school, or
it's one school
that you will name next week?
That we will name. So right now, MPS has the choice if they want to keep their employees, their students, and have schools returned to them. That's what's in front of them. What I'm afraid is if we don't get to that, it's going to be something that both MPS and Dr. Means and I agree is a poor alternative.
Thank you for coming in. We'll stay in touch with you on this issue.
You bet.
It's an important one. Thank you. County Executive Chris Abele.